But amid all this destruction, there still remains one fragment of a mural that tells the story of the arrival of many foreigners. It's a painting of foreign ambassadors. The faces of the envoys who came from the various countries of the Western lands were carefully portrayed. The man with the big eyes came from Burma. The one with a hat that looks like a helmet is the ambassador from Mongolia. And the man with a turban round his head is an Arab. And there can be no doubt that all these foreigners who came to Turfan from distant countries brought elements of their own cultures with them. Here and there in the desert, you can find a well. They form part of a structure called a karez that's very important to the people here. Karez is the name for an underground water system that's been created by connecting a series of wells by tunnels to the foothills of the Tian Shan Mountains. It's believed that the idea was brought by Muslims from Persia, but when it arrived is not known. We saw people working on a karez in the middle of the desert. They were a team responsible for keeping them clear of sand, which would otherwise block the channels. There were oxen pulling at ropes, which went through windlasses at the tops of the wells. Workers at the bottom of the well load waste sand and gravel into a basket, and the ox pulls the basket to the surface. When the basket is lowered again, the ox must go backward. When the karez was first built many years ago, they used the same method which has been passed down from father to son. But we wanted to know how the water could flow beneath the arid desert. So we went down ourselves to take a look. First was the Chinese cameraman. Then it was the turn of the Japanese team. The wells are about 30 meters deep, or 100 feet, and their walls are plain earth. This carrez has about 300 wells, and every day, somewhere, this sort of work is continuing. We decided to walk along the underground waterway until we reached the point where it emerges. It was just wide enough for us to pass in single file. Inside the carrez, the temperature is only about 20 degrees Celsius, or 65 degrees Fahrenheit, but the water flowing underfoot is so cold that it feels almost painful. After the heat and dryness on the surface, it was a different world. It must have been marvelous when people were traveling through the desert to come to a place where you could find ice-cold water. That's the way it was in the old days of the Silk Road. But why did they take so much trouble to build the waterways underground? Well, water flowing on the surface would either be absorbed by the sand or it would evaporate in the heat. In the days when surface canals were still very primitive, it was better to dig one underground. In days gone by, if a man had enough money, he would build his own carrez system and charge people for using it. But today, the system is operated by the People's Corporation. And even though surface canals have become much more efficient, many people use the good quality water from the carrez. After walking for about an hour, we finally came to the exit. The water from this carrez freshens a tree-lined street through the oasis. During the time we were in Turfan, the highest temperature was almost 48 degrees Celsius, 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Even in September, the heat showed no sign of letting up. In the old days, people would wait until after sunset before setting out on a journey. Xuanzang must always have followed a road with the setting sun down it on his journey westwards to India. For the Chinese people, the West had a fascination of its own. It was the same whether they were merchants or Buddhist priests. They set out with hope in their hearts, hope that they could find something precious in a faraway country. Now we too were following the setting sun along the South Tien Shan Road.